Okay, let's talk about the project management office, the PMO. If you've ever worked with one, you might have this image of, well, a bureaucratic hurdle, right? A cost center. But what if we could flip that script entirely? Today, we're going to explore a really cool model that promises to turn the PMO from a simple process enforcer into a true strategic partner. Ready to see how? Let's dive in.
So on one side, you've got the PMO many of us have experienced. It's the process enforcer, the cost center, a bit bureaucratic, maybe even seen as just administrative overhead. But on the other side, that's the goal, the Flywheel PMO. This isn't about enforcing rules, it's about enabling success. It's not a drain on resources, it's a value driver. The entire idea is to shift from this rigid, sometimes frustrating structure to an agile partner that actually helps the business get things done.
All right, so first we have to tackle the core problem head on. We're talking about moving beyond that old school bureaucratic model that can feel, well, pretty out of touch with what teams really need to succeed. And that brings us right to the solution, the flywheel model. Now, this isn't just another buzzword or framework. It's a totally different way of thinking about the PMO, one that's designed to create this incredible cycle of continuous and always growing value. You know, this whole idea actually comes from Jim Collins's famous book, Good to Great. Picture a giant, heavy flywheel. Getting that thing to turn even an inch takes a massive amount of effort at first, but you keep pushing. And with every single push, it gets just a little bit easier. Eventually, its own momentum starts to take over, and it's spinning faster and faster with less effort. That's the exact effect we're trying to create here with the PMO. And this quote it nails it. Every single time the PMO helps a team, delivers a service that people love, or improves a frustrating process, that's another big push on the flywheel. That success builds trust. It shows its worth. And that makes it so much easier to deliver even more value the next time around. It creates this powerful, self-reinforcing loop, a virtuous circle. So how does this actually work in the real world? Well, the model breaks down into 10 steps that are spread across 5 different stages, and they're all designed to build on each other. Let's walk through them. The whole cycle kicks off with what's called the exploration stage. First step is awareness. I mean, a PMO can't help anybody if nobody knows what it can do for them, right? Then comes needs assessment. And this is so important. This isn't about forcing processes onto people. It's about listening, really listening, and understanding what teams are actually struggling with day to day. Okay, once those needs are crystal clear, we move into the design stage. This starts with a value proposition, basically a clear promise that says, hey, we heard you, and here's how we're going to solve those specific problems. From that promise, you get into service development, which is where you turn that promise into real, tangible solutions and services. So, the services are designed. Now what? It's time for the deployment stage. Onboarding here is absolutely critical. You have to roll out new services in a way that people will actually want to use them. Then, of course, comes service operation. That's the daily work of delivering on your promises with consistent, high quality. Now, here's where this model gets really, really powerful. It's the feedback loop, or the enhancement stage. With service monitoring, you're constantly asking, is this actually working? Are people getting value from this? All that data, all that feedback, then feeds directly into service improvement. This is the engine that makes sure the PMO never gets stale or out of date. And finally, we have the realization stage, which really brings it all full circle. Value delivery is where you measure the actual tangible impact. You know, the time saved, the money saved, the risks avoided. But just creating value isn't enough. Value recognition is all about making sure the rest of the organization sees that impact. And that recognition, that's the fuel that gives the flywheel its next big, powerful push. Now, you might be tempted to look at those 10 steps and think of it as just a simple checklist, but that totally misses the magic of the flywheel. The most important thing to get is that this is not a straight line. It's a dynamic, interconnected system where lots of things are happening all at once. A better way to think about it is like a series of interlocking gears. While the PMO is, say, onboarding a new service for the marketing team, it might also be in the needs assessment phase with the engineering team. And at the exact same time, it could be gathering feedback to improve an older service for the finance team. All these gears are always in motion. That's what makes this model so agile and so responsive to what the business needs right now. So let's tie this all together. What is the real impact here? Why does this big paradigm shift actually matter? What's the real payoff for getting this flywheel to spin? Well, the benefits are pretty clear, and they're powerful. You get customer centricity because the entire system is built around what your users, your customers, actually need. You get genuine value creation, which shifts the focus away from just checking boxes. You build momentum, where every success makes the next one that much easier. And you create true adaptability, which means you have a PMO that evolves with the organization instead of holding it back. And really, this is the transformation we're all aiming for. It's about taking the PMO from being seen as a necessary cost to being seen as a vital driver of value. They stop being just administrative overhead and become truly indispensable strategic partners who actually accelerate what the organization can achieve. So as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Think about your own company, your own teams. What's the very first push you could give? What would it take to get your organization's flywheel spinning?